We're going to look at assessment. What exactly is assessment vis-a-vis evaluation? Yeah, these are common statements that are actually misused, but there is a difference between assessment and evaluation. And in case you haven't subscribed to my channel, kindly subscribe. This is a channel where we learn more about practicality of the M1E fields and project management and planning. Yes, so kindly hit that subscribe button below and the notification bell whenever I post a video. Every Thursday or Tuesday I'm posting a video. Yeah, make sure to check it out. Like, share, comment in the second or comment section below. Yeah, thank you again. Let's just get right into it. So, and today we're just looking at the basics. What is evaluation? What is assessment? What is the difference between the two? Yeah, so assessment it's a process of collecting, reviewing, and using data for the purpose of improvement in the current performance. Yeah, so here you're just collecting, reviewing, and using data. It's a continuous assessment is more like continuous. You're reviewing, collecting data for purposes of improvement in the current performance of something. For example, it can be like maybe assessing your students. If you have students that you're teaching and you're always having evaluation, maybe like tests to see how they're performing, then reviewing how they can improve for other prior tests. That is assessment. Then evaluation, this is an act of passing judgment on the basis of set standards. Yeah, as it's rightly described, passing judgment. So here already maybe a program has been designed, has been implemented, and evaluation comes to judge a particular program or project based on the set standards. So these were maybe that these were the set standards, and if the project was actually attaining, focusing on maybe increasing access to safe water, to safe and clean water in areas of maybe Namgongo, yeah, evaluation comes in to say, okay, was this actually done by judging how many households have actually access to safe and clean water in this area. That is evaluation. So the nature of assessment is diagnostic assessment. You actually are, as you go to the hospital and you tell them your symptoms, you tell the doctor, and then they diagnose that maybe if you have these symptoms of flu and cough, then maybe you have COVID. Similarly, assessment is diagnostic in nature in that if I'm going to use an example of still students in the teaching and learning process. Yeah, if you're doing continuous collection or giving these your students tests and you're assessing them, you're actually diagnosing what are the weak points, how are they performing so far, how can they improve their grades. Whereas evaluation is judgmental in nature. I already explained how. That is just basing against the set targets or indicators or project objectives. So evaluation is doing that. Assessment provides feedback on performance and areas of improvement. Yeah. So in assessment, you provided assessment kits to your students. Of course, if you're going to mark their exams, you're going to give them feedback and also tell them areas where they need to improve. Whereas evaluation, this only determines the extent to which objectives were achieved. So as I said, I gave an example of objective. If the objective was to have maybe 30,000 households in the areas of maybe northern region have access to safe and clean water, evaluation will judge according to that set indicator or set objective that exactly were all the 30,000 did all the 30,000 households get access to safe and clean water? Was it yes or no? To what extent was that objective attained? Yeah, and also looking at the qualitative objectives where maybe an improvement in people's livelihood and healthcare. That's what evaluation looks at. Assessment is formative in nature, that is continuous. It's continuous, and evaluation is summative in nature in that it's done after end of a project or a program. Whereas assessment, this is done continuously. That is the meaning of formative. Here, summative is after an end of something, so you're judging or evaluating against a particular set objective that was implemented, whereas this is an ongoing. Assessment is process-oriented, and this is product-oriented. So assessment, as I said, the teaching and learning is more like a process that someone goes to school, maybe does these modules. It's a process, and then they're going to attain or a degree or a diploma at the end of the day. It's a process. So for it looks at the process. So that's why it's continuous, that at every level they are measuring whether there is need for improvement, where there is feedback on maybe the challenges. That's what assessment does. And this is focusing on the product oriented, as you set out the product. Maybe in this case, you're supposed to actually have 40,000 households having access to safe and clean water. That's your product. Or the product can be, maybe can relate it to more tangible outputs, more like maybe 40,000 households have access to safe energy cooking stoves. That's your product. So it's looking at a product and output evaluation. Yeah, whereas assessment looks at a process. What are we attaining in this process? Are there some improvements? Are there some hiccups? Its feedback assessment is based on observation, and positive or negative points are always noted. Yeah, so in assessment, you can also observe behavior. Yeah, of your students. In this particular case, I'm going to give still a scenario of students in class if you're teaching. So you can observe their behavior towards something and understand where the negative or positive points are coming from. Whereas evaluation, this is based on the level of quality as a per standard set. Yeah, so evaluation, my earlier videos kindly look at them. I cover the OECD, the criteria of evaluation, where I look at quality as a key thing in evaluation. Of course, if the set objective was maybe 40,000 households having access to safe and clean water or sustainable energy cookstoves, evaluation will look at what was actually the quality that was given to these people or households. Is it of quality? Yeah. Whereas assessment doesn't look at that. It only observes the positive or negative points that have been ongoing in a particular process. Yeah, our assessment is reflective in nature, and evaluation is prescriptive in nature. Prescriptive in nature meaning that it describes a particular situation. Yeah, in evaluation. For example, you can look at let's say that you've done an evaluation of still I'm going to use the households attaining maybe safe and clean water. Yeah, so prescriptive in nature in that evaluation looks at did these households actually get the access? Did they all get the access to safe and clean water? What was the quality? What was the quality? What were the hindrances of those who didn't get the water? Yeah, that's what evaluation looks at. In terms of criteria, assessment is sought by both parties jointly, and in most cases, the evaluation is done by an evaluator. He sets the evaluation standards, the evaluation objectives, and objectives based on his terms of reference. Whereas assessment, this is done jointly by both parties. Still, I'm going to look at a teacher who is having a class. Assessment is done that there is maybe a curriculum board, a teaching board, and they decide that we're going to assess our students using this method, and this is going to be the pass mark, so it's done jointly. Assessment in terms of measurements is absolute, and evaluation is comparative. Evaluation comparative in that it compares the before situations and after situations. So if you set out that I'm going to have 40,000 households in one region have access to safe and clean water, you have to, when you're doing your evaluation, first have to look at the baseline. Where did the project start from? Were you starting to 0 for you to set a target of 40,000 households. So it's a comparative in nature, looking at if maybe these 40,000 households have water access to safe and clean water, what of the other maybe 40,000 that don't have safe access to safe and clean water or sustainable energy cook stoves. You're comparing what is the effect to these families and homes in terms of health, in terms of livelihood. You're actually comparing. Whereas assessment is absolute in that if you've assessed your maybe learners and they've gotten this is the pass mark you set, and these are your students have attained maybe like if you set a pass mark of 60 and both above that average, then it's absolute. That's it. So that's it about the differences between assessment and evaluation. We've picked a few points. Comment in the comment section below what you understand by assessment and evaluation, how you have actually used it in your work. And thank you very much again. Like, share, and subscribe.